Happy Monday, everybody. Bronze through gold. All regions below 5,000 dust. Yes, we have another budget deck video for you. Time to climb the standard ladder without needing to take out a second or a third mortgage. This is Monday, September 2nd, and it's Labor Day here in the United States. And you know what? It's a lot of labor to find a few decks that we could talk about that we haven't talked about in the past week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So many things are going on. I know you all are seeing the balance patch the past couple of days. If we're looking at the win rates right now, we had 8 classes all above 50% over the weekend. I believe Hunter and Mage are right there at like 50.1%. It's still good. It's still balanced. There's still some situations that are going on, you know, with dealing with the whole 5,000 or less deck requirements for the Dust. There's going to be some wonkiness that we see, but we do have some decks for you to play. So to get right into the meta, if we're looking at classes are a little bit of the same thing. Corpsicle Death Knight, Razzle Dazzle. Let's look at last 7 days. Razzle Dazzle, Death Knight, or whatever it is. It's interesting to play. Plague Death Knight is at 50.6%, so it came back. This was, Plague was out of it for a little bit. Now it's back. Corpsicle, we know that. Rainbow. There's a lot of options for Death Knight. Great thing is there's a lot of cheap options for Death Knight. One we will get into today. Demon Hunter, Pirate Demon Hunter. We're going to talk about Pirate Demon Hunter. It went up, it went down, it went back up again. Listen, I feel like I have a traumatic brain injury playing this deck because I'm having such a hard time playing this deck. We had to do that event quest to get all the pirates, and it just is not working for me, but I switched to Pirate Warrior, and I forgot I loved that deck. Shopper Demon Hunter is moved up a little bit. I can't believe Shopper Demon Hunter is being discussed right now. And then there's a Pain Demon Hunter. We'll see what happens with that. Maybe we won't talk about that at all. Maybe they'll find a cheaper version. Druid, Dragon Druid Concierge, Highlander. Hunter's got a couple of options here. Listen, Hunter's normally a very expensive class to play, but you know, Secret Hunter's pretty cheap. We just talked about it. Amalgam Hunter. Amalgam Hunter has a little bit of a higher win rate. I love that deck, so we're going to talk about it again in case you didn't see it. Will you go far? No, but you will be able to play around bronze through gold. Mage has Elemental or Big Spell, and Spell Mage is right there. Listen, Mage is pretty consistent. Like I said, it's going back and forth on the 50% win rate, 49% win rate, but I know right now there are people playing Mage, and Mage is winning games. Paladin, we're not going to talk about Paladin. You know what Paladin's about. Priest, Zarimi, Heal, we know that. Rogue is still doing terrible. The buffs are making, I think the buffs made things worse on the wild side for Rogue. Made, I think, Miracle Rogue unplayable from what I heard. I don't know. I'm not a wild player, but yeah, look, there's just no love for Rogue right now. Mini set when? I think we're supposed to hear about the mini set probably this week or the next 2 weeks. Shaman's got a lot of options. You got Pirate, Elemental, Evolve, Highlander, Rainbow. Problem is they're too expensive. I couldn't find anything below 7,000 dust, and I'm not going to get you all excited about a deck that's going to, you know, cost you an arm and a leg right now, but I am watching. If I can find something Shaman related that is less than 5,000 dust, I will be there. I might even cheat and say, oh yeah, this is a legendary that you don't have to pay for or what have you. I'm really looking into it, I promise. I'm looking out for you. Warlock is doing Warlock things. Insanity, Pain, Hand, you know what the deal is. And then listen, with Warrior, you've got Odin. And, you know, Odin is back and forth and back and forth. Highlander's not doing any good right now, and Highlander's too expensive for us to talk about anyway. That's what we've got going on right now for the classes. So we talked about this a couple of times, maybe twice now. Amalgam Hunter has got a 50.7% win rate, 4240 dust. I love this deck. I think this deck is awesome. I know the win rates, look, the win rate is wonky. One time it's amazing, the next time it's terrible. Then it's amazing for a little bit, and then it goes back down. So you're not going to see a lot of consistency here, but it's fun deck. And it's all about making your adaptive amalgam as strong as humanly possible, and then, you know, the death rattle will shuffle it into your deck with all the enchantments. So bunch of bananas, that will help. Cup of muscle, that will help. Sneaky Snakes is just to put some things on the board. Tracking is to discover a card that you need. Absorbent Parasite, Magnetic Rush can magnetize 2 mechs and beasts. Why do we want to do that? Because we want to make that adaptive amalgam really big and beefy. Always a bigger Jormonger. This is going to be able to do some really crazy awesome stuff for any of your cards, especially for, bear with me, adaptive amalgam. Bird watching, that's just to go ahead and discover a minion. Hopefully it's the one that you'll be able to use adaptive amalgam. So you know the drill. You're just trying to do what you can. Titan Forge Traps is in here. All you can eat to draw 3 minions of different minion types. Bronze Gatekeeper to do that magnetic to it. So you're just trying to make these as huge as possible. Get those amalgams as huge as possible. Try to collect more of them if you can. Ranger Gilly will go ahead and buff your stuff at the end of your turn. You're not going to get any more than 1, maybe 2 if you're lucky, maybe if they don't care. And again, like I said, this deck is fun to play. It's absolutely easy to pilot. You're just working towards that adaptive amalgam. Again, you will not win a ton of games. This will probably get you right around gold, and then you'll be like, okay, time for me to move around. But if you have Hunter and Hunter is your jam, you could just start, making some tech choices that way and maybe make another deck for Hunter. Next up, we're going to talk about Pirate Demon Hunter. Like I said, I know this is popular. This was super, super strong in the beginning of the month, at the beginning of the expansion. I just can't get it to work. And maybe it's just because I'm not a huge Demon Hunter main. I think it's clunky a little bit. I think it's set up to where, hey, yeah, War of Attrition, when you're hitting those multiple minions back and forth. But the problem is there's just big swingy turns. By the time you've got a couple of your pirates popping off, your opponent has already hit you in the face multiple times, and there's no need to it. But again, it depends on what type of player you are. If you're playing Demon Hunter, you're probably okay. This is at 4,440 dust, and it's at a 58.1% win rate. So maybe I'm the only one that doesn't know how to play this deck. Maybe everybody else is crazy that way. So nothing's really changed in this. Miracle Salesman, we know what that does. Through Fell in Flames, this is to give a minion rush. And listen, patches the pirate with that thing to shuffle those parachutes into your deck that summon the 1/1 pirate. Sock Puppet Slither Spear. The thing with this, with the Slither Spears, and you could use both of them, it doesn't matter. There's just so many easy counters to anything on the board whatsoever. It's just one small spell and anything on the board, even like a 8 mana minion, is just dead. So getting these to pop off like this, it's just when I've been playing it, and maybe it's just I'm not building up enough of a board. I'm dealing with the fact is everything is just easily counterable immediately. Treasure Distributor, Coconut Cannoneer. You're trying to make all the interactions between the pirates work with you. Yes, you can win some games with this. Absolutely. I'm not saying that I didn't win any games here. I'm now remembering with the Hosen Rough Rider and what have you. I was able to win some games with it, but it's just a little clunky. It's a little clunky, and it's just not my style. Your mileage may vary. There's a lot of people playing this deck. There is, alternative ways, watching it on VODs or whatnot. If you're really interested in playing this, I would definitely check it out. Go on to, some streams or whatnot of those playing. And what we'll do now is I will show you the last 2 decks that we're going to talk about. Number 1, Frost Death Knight. It came back, okay? And it came back. It's really great. It's 3,880 dust. I think this one right here has some potential of staying around a little bit longer, only because really the only 2 legendaries are in it are the Gorgon's Ormu and the Marin the Manager. Marin, everybody should have. Gorgon's Ormu, you don't need to craft this. You can tech out any one of the Frost cards, any one of the Death Knight cards that you want to use. It's not a be-all, end-all, and it's at a 57.3% win rate and 3,880 dust. Horde of Winter, we know what that does. Miracle Salesman, hey look, it's back again. Scarab Keychain, Corpsicle, Dreadhound Handler. So it's just doing Frost Death Knight stuff like it used to do. Here's some Frost spells. Here's another things that'll draw Frost spells. Mining Casualties is a great card. Chill Fallen Baron to get you card draw. And then, yeah, the Hardcore Cultist is going to deal 2 damage. Listen, when you want to hit this with the finale. Marrow Manipulator, this is to go ahead and deal 2 damage to a random enemy for each of your 5 corpses. Don't play this until you have 5 corpses. Froststorm's Fury is a busted card. That's awesome. Again, this card should get you pretty much through bronze, through silver. You might run into a little bit of problem on gold, but it's pretty consistent. You can make this super cheap. You do not need Gorgon's Ormu. It's a great card though. If you're playing Hearthstone pretty regularly or what have you, this is a very good card for you to craft. You could put this card in anything and it just helps you get something greater on the board later on in the turns. That's one that I would absolutely consider doing. What is the last one we have to talk about? Hey, we're going to talk about Dragon Druid. This one's 4,240 dust, 53.4%. And yeah, it's exactly what Dragon Druid was before. And I'm just mentioning it now because it's cheap. It's one of the cheaper ones. It's still winning games. It's still very consistent. And it's very easy to pilot. It's just play a dragon and interact with your other dragons, and then you will be able to win some games. It's just really difficult for you to, for your opponent to fight you because you're able to get a bunch of board movement pretty quickly the first 5 or so turns, and you don't have to really ramp up to this. And of course, Dragon has an awesome hero power as well. You can go from there. Mark of the Wild, Frost Lotus Seedling, Splish Splash Whelp, Swipe. We'll take Swipe all day, every day, and twice on Tuesdays. Take to the Skies to pull those dragons out. Spinetail Dragon. It's just Dragon Druid. It's very good. And again, that's all I have for the decks this week. And I'm hoping that we'll see some mini set adjustments. Maybe we'll get something a little bit better. I've always believed, very firm believer, and I know others have as well, that if you're spending gold on any type of cards or you're spending money, the best value is the mini set. Maybe this will switch stuff up a little bit. I will spend time reviewing, the mini set. I will spend time telling you which cards I think are best. I'm hoping that we'll see some sort of refresh. I've got stuff to talk about in case we do not, but there's a little bit of a stagnant situation going on right now, and we will see what happens in the next week, 10 days, what have you. Depends on when we hear about the mini set. Until then, have fun in the tavern, and I will see you in the next video.